Hey Nippers, it's me, Wild Neptune. Well, this is a video I did not expect to make right now, but with 2 repeat collabs coming up very soon, it's time to get down to business, and that business is you liking, commenting, and subscribing on this video, and watching it right after this. So, sometime early this morning, Smilegate posted not only Guilty Gear right here, returning on D10 or August 10th. I don't know what D is. Maybe it's Korean or something for August. Maybe. But also, ReZero, literally the week after. And they will overlap slightly. So, Guilty Gear from the 10th to the 24th, and ReZero from the 17th to the 31st. So both of them will last for 2 weeks. This also probably means that there will be no new units introduced for these repeat collabs. That means Guilty Gear will have Soul, who is free, by the way, Dizzy, Biken, Jacko, and Elfelt. So actually a lot of heroes for those 2 weeks. So expect 2 per a week. Maybe a triple banner. I'm not sure how they'll do this. We'll talk about that in a little bit here. And then ReZero, we have Rem, Ran, who's the free hero, and also Emilia. And this is pretty unprecedented that we're having 2 collabs smushed back to back. Keep in mind too that there's still another collab that has not been repeated yet that I think is very pertinent if you're a fan of PvP or introduced to PvP, which is Full Metal Alchemist. And maybe news on that a little bit later. But for now, we're going to focus on these 2. Now, this video is not going to be a full breakdown on who to pull, everything like that. We will actually get to that a little bit closer to the collab. So probably in a week or so, I will give you pointers on, more specifically, if you should pull this, if you should not pull this. Also, when we get more information about how they're going to handle all of this happening at the same time, especially after we had back-to-back limiteds. This is, in my opinion, well, as far as I can remember, the first time Smilegate has done something like this, where we just smushed in, where we have used all our resources and are now getting these huge collab announcements on units that people are going to want. But are these units even worth pulling? It depends. Now, let's dive into that. Like I said, very briefly, just going through the heroes fast and giving a couple of use cases for them. More detailed analysis on them will be done closer to the rerun. But just to get you primed and ready, left to right, Soul's free, so we'll talk about him. But Elfelt, basically only really used right now for a Katie's one-shot team. Has some niche usage maybe in PvP, but pretty much fallen off the wayside there. Her artifact is Miss Confi, which is a ranger artifact that is not guiding light. However, it is a very good artifact if you know you're going first on a ranger, and also for some PvE content. Dizzy saw some resurgence in RTA, World Arena, a little while ago. However, since then, she has kind of fallen off again. She just is punished too hard by the likes of Last Ride at Crown right now. Basically pushed her completely out of the meta again. So, really has no real niche anymore. Ironic because for a long time, she was one of the best heroes in the game for PvP. And now the meta is not really that kind to her at the moment. Biken is the premier Banshee one-shot unit in the game. Easiest one to gear at least. So until you get a very, very revved up Straze type team, Baiken is going to be your best option there. Now, keep in mind that there are now a lot of options you can use to one-shot the Banshee. And so Baby Baiken isn't necessary for you. And Jacko is the only one right now that is seeing significant use in PvP, mainly for aggressive and cleave teams. Some more Bruiser builds have been tried out, but they haven't really panned out the way that the players wanted to. So if you're an aggro player and a cleaver, Jacko is going to be a good pull for your account. Then you have ReZero. 3 heroes. Ram is free, so we'll skip her and start at Rem. Rem is a PvP type hero, basically. Also has been used in a Wyvern type one-shot team. So there's also that option there. She's okay. She really saw no usage in PvP until Jacko came out and Rem became one of the anti-cleaves for Jacko cleaves. Now, whether or not the Rem defense against Jacko is actually good or not is debatable. No matter what element Rem is fighting, her RNG is still going to be the factor in winning or losing. And right now, sometimes she just doesn't quite do enough. But still, people like drafting against Jacko, and that may be a thing you want to do. Amelia herself, she sees some niche play. The Soul Weaver slot is just very competitive, though, for your team in World Arena and elsewhere. Her base speed also isn't really that great. However, Amelia has probably the best overall Soul Weaver artifact connected to her, which is Guardian Ice Crystal. And that might be the reason why you want to pull some Amelias to potentially grab that artifact. And as a quick aside, as we know, Slime was rerun fairly recently, but Fullmetal Alchemist still looming. I'm expecting like October, November-ish for this one. And then we have Espa, which we don't know if Espa will come back, but that will probably not be until next year. And now, briefly, I also want to talk about what are new players going to do now about this? We just had back-to-back limited banners that were very good looking units, also very good units mechanically. And now we're getting, not too long after, 2 collabs. Reruns, yes, but new players, you're not going to have any of those units. And the 2 collabs, they're running together. They'll be actually going at the same time. 6 collab units that are coming. How do you choose? Which ones do you get? You're gonna have to make some sacrifices if you're not prepared to shell out the bucks. Now, let's be fair here, okay? Is it reasonable to expect a new player jumping into the game this late into it and to have access to be able to get all of the collab heroes? No, let's be fair, it is not. But I do think that pushing these 2 back to back, it's so close together, right after 2 limited units, is kind of effed up, okay? Now, let's be fair here again. Maybe Smilegate will do something like they did with the Aspa collab, where that had 4 units, right? But one of them, you can get basically for free, because during the event, Smilegate gave the special currency out, which let us basically pull a pity's worth of bookmarks for free. And so, theoretically, we only had to pull on 3 units. Now, people totally complained about how many units there were, though, just for that collab. And they're definitely going to be complaining here. I can already see it, read it, hear it, everything like that. All the complaints. Maybe they'll do that 2 times, right? Maybe we get 2 heroes. Now, I think that's a stretch. I can see maybe one of them being like that, but probably not 2 of them. Keep in mind, too, though, that every time a callout comes around, they always have special like lock-in events and things like that where we get more resources. So your resources will be going up faster during the collab, but not enough to get all 6 units. Let's be clear about that. I think another factor we have to consider is that this was inevitable. it was bound to happen with all of the collabs that Epic 7 and Smilegate have run. We've had Guilty Gear, ReZero, Slime, FMA, Aspa, and we might get more collabs in the future. I don't know. And with also the limited units too, just too many in a year to push all of them in and have them a reasonable time apart from each other. So, no matter what you think, and no matter what Smilegate's best intentions were and what they said in the past, there is zero way that they could keep up this, limited unit, wait like a couple of months, then we get a collab, wait a couple more months, then maybe like another limited, somewhere like that, and then collab like 3 months down the line after that. No, that was never going to be the case that would last forever. It just feels, in my opinion, very bad right now, because even though this limited event was really, really good for farming, really good gear, the fact the imprint thing and all that stuff has left a bad taste in people's mouth. Definitely, I think, tilted the scales in this game being more whaley than it has been. Now, to be fair here, Smilegate again has to make money, and as I said before, I do believe they haven't been that great at making money in the game. Now, I do not know how much these collabs, though, as they are reruns, are really going to help them in this case, as a lot of the veteran players will have all or most of the units. I myself am only missing Jacko again, because I wasn't playing when she was out, but it's new players that's suffering. And how many new players are playing the game right now? I don't know. And even then, most of these heroes are only going to be pulled for collection and exclusivity purposes. Not a lot of them are relevant in a lot of pertinent content that cannot be replaced with other heroes. However, there's been that fear now, since Jacko got buffed out of nowhere, that maybe other heroes would also get buffed for things. Now, they never really buffed a hero that has had a core role in PvE to a PvP hero. So, you can argue that Green Euphine was a core PvE hero. No, she was not, okay? Let's be clear here. But it's not like, I don't think about Baiken, who is the core premier Banshee one-shot unit in the game, to suddenly be also good in PvP. Honestly, I think if they did the Euphine thing with Baiken, where they kind of nerfed Euphine for PvE purposes and made it better in PvP, and did it for Baiken instead, people would be insanely upset about that. Because unlike Euphine, who only a few people used, a lot of people use Baiken for Banshee, me included. And just the fact that I'd have to build another Banshee team if she was changed would not be very welcome. But I also don't think the argument of, well, you don't have to pull them, really has a lot of weight here. When, I don't know. It's, for one, I am excited about it personally, right, for me, because I have the units, and I'm just benefiting from all the resources that they're going to give us during the 2 collabs they're running, right? But I definitely feel for newer players. Hopefully, Smilegate does do something to remedy this situation, or at least make it a little bit easier for people. This is the 4th time, I think, Guilty Gear has run, and the whatever time that, the 3rd time, I believe, that ReZero has run. We'll probably get some side story special, maybe. I believe last time Guilty Gear ran, it was just like the tournament thing or whatever. And that has some okay rewards. Hopefully they update the reward pool too. Maybe give out some 88 gear. That would be nice. But we'll talk about that as we see more info on how these reruns are gonna pan out. In any case, look forward to my analysis on all the units coming out, well, re-coming out, shortly. I'm Well Neptune. It's been a good one. Nep out.